Hello Pelican Sound, hope everyone's doing well. I'm your head golf professional, Tim Harris. Wanted to talk to you today about some general rules on the golf course that might be overlooked here and there. We're heading into March, the busiest time of the year, and we've been really busy out here with the golf operation, as everybody can tell. How we fix divots on the golf course is something that I've been told needs to be relayed to all of you. Now, we have done other videos in the past where we talked about filling in the divots with sand. We're now doing over 400 rounds a day. The other day, believe it or not, we did 500 rounds of golf in one day. Okay, so think about that for a minute. And think about what that does to the turf on the golf course. So all of us as golfers have to have some responsibility out there to take care of your golf course. I mean, it gets beat up at this time of the year. I'm standing on river hole number 6 today, okay, and I came out here this morning and I'm looking around, and as you can see, there are a lot of divots in the fairway here. Okay, this is one of the more narrow fairways, so it gets a lot of wedges hitting to the green, a lot of 9 irons, 8 irons. Here's one in particular that hasn't been filled in. I'm out here in the morning, and you look around, there's a lot of other divots that aren't filled in too. So once again, I'm going to go over the proper way to fill in a divot using the sand that's provided on your golf carts and even our walkers that are out there. Please take a sand with you, a little bottle of sand. We have them there at the bag drop that you can use, so we want everyone to have sand with them. Excuse me. Here's an unfilled divot, okay? So I'm going to take my scoop, I'm going to sprinkle in the sand there, and I'm going to flatten it out with my foot. So you want the sand to be at the level of the surface. You don't want to overfill it, because if you overfill it, then it mounds up the sand above the surface. And you don't want to underfill it either, because when you underfill it, then it grows into a depression. There's a few areas out here where you can see where it might have been underfilled. See the depression right here? So the level of the surface, it kind of goes down and leaves a depression. We do have a lot of divots that are filled, so we appreciate everyone doing their job. But you know, as I look around, there's a lot of divots here that aren't filled in. So I'm going to keep filling on those divots. You know, we ask everybody, if you see an unfilled divot out there, go ahead and fill that in, as long as you do yours as well. Obviously, you don't want to be out here, you know, holding up play and filling in 10, 11 divots. Unfortunately, sometimes it looks like you can. And later on in this video, I want to talk to you about some divot parties that we have coming up in the month of March, where we can get all of our members out there on the golf course filling in some divots. But as I go around, I see some more unfilled divots. You know, got one right here. You know, smooth it out. Got one there. Got another one right over here. You know, so we have the unfilled divots throughout the fairway. So when you're looking at it from ground level, you know, as you see it in the video, you can definitely see how much damage is done to the golf course. But our superintendent, Johnny Ingram, who really stresses you know, more than anybody about how important it is to keep the golf course in good shape, did us a favor, and he did a drone video of River 6 so we can see it from above. So why don't we get a bird's eye view, and let's go on up. So here's our bird's eye view of the very hole that I'm on right now, River 6, and you can see the traffic patterns around the tee boxes. It really shows from up high. And as we get into the 150, 100-yard area, that's when you're going to start seeing the divots, and there's plenty of them. Almost looks like it's the surface of the moon, as you can see all the craters there. Really kind of gives you an idea of how much traffic and how much play we get on the golf course. So that's why it's so imperative for everyone to fill in their divots and take care of the golf course. A little bit more dramatic from up above, I think you would agree. So just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like, what the birds see, I guess, up there when they're looking down on Pelican Sound, and that's just one example of how beat up the course really gets. So it's really up to all of us here at Pelican Sound to take care of our golf course. So as you can see, pretty striking video there, showing exactly what it looks like from a bird's eye view of how much damage can be done with excessive play on the golf course. So, and look, these are in your rules and regulations. You know, if you go to the Pelican Sound rules and regulations, it's Article 24. That's general golf rules. 24.3 is golf course etiquette. And in that golf course etiquette section, it tells you about taking care of the golf course, leaving the golf course the same as you found it, taking care of the golf course by sanding in your divots, fixing your pitch marks on the green, raking the bunkers. All those things are going to help when we have this excessive amount of play. Another thing that's in our rules and regulations is the blue discs. Now, the blue discs are out there on the golf course for our fellow handicap cart drivers. The ones with the yellow flags. You know, you may have a medical issue that doesn't allow you to walk as well as you once did. So we have blue discs out there on the golf course around the edges of the greens. Let's go ahead and drive up to the green there, and we'll talk a little bit more about those blue discs and how we should proceed around them. Okay, so we're driving up to the 6th green here, and on the approach we're going to pretend I'm a handicap driver, and you can see that there's a blue disc over here to my left. I'm just going to peel off to the left, and I'm going to park to the outside of it. So there's the blue disc. Now, these blue discs are sprinkled throughout the golf course on the sides of the greens, and they're generally from 20 to 30 feet from the edges of the green. The handicap cart drivers must stay to the outside of those blue discs, and we do not want you parking on the approach. So you can see that there's an approach to the green right here. We don't want the carts on that approach. We want the carts to the sides, okay? It's really not that difficult, coining an old phrase, to keep the golf carts to the outside of the blue discs. See these bunkers here? You can see some tire tread wear here. The carts are not supposed to drive between the bunkers. They're not supposed to drive between a bunker and the edge of the green, okay? That is also in your rules and regs, Article 24.3. Look it up. When there's a pond associated with a hole, you're not supposed to drive your cart between the green and the pond, or between a bunker and the pond. So all of you that have a handicap flag, you got that flag, and you also received a booklet. And the booklet shows you where the blue discs are, and it shows you where you can and where you cannot drive. Please, 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 please follow the instructions in that booklet. I get phone calls, I get emails all the time about handicap cart drivers not following the rules. And we've had to talk to quite a few also. So we just want you to be able to help us preserve the golf course. That's what it's all about. That's why this video is being put out there. Article 24, General Golf Rules. 24.3, Golf Course Etiquette. And it has to do with care of the golf course. Okay. So there's some other rules and regs that we're going to talk about really quickly. We're going to head back towards the clubhouse. But once again, I'm going to talk to you at the end of this video about some divot parties that we have scheduled coming up in the month of March that we want everyone to be involved with. So stay tuned for that. Let's head over to the clubhouse. Okay, so here we are back at the clubhouse in the main area where all the activity takes place. So we talked about Article 24, golf rules in general. But I want to talk a little bit about Article 18 and 19 that's in the rules and regs also. Pets and smoking. Now pets, look, we all love our pets. I love a furry friend just as much as anybody, but there are certain parts of the club that they are not allowed to be in. Specifically the Golf Pro Shop up there in that area behind me that you see that goes over there to the right where all the dining takes place. You know, keep your pets on a leash. We have a dog park that just opened up. That's a great place for them. But really around the club and around the facility, dogs and other pets really aren't allowed. So that's right in your rules and regs. I just ask you to take a look at that. That's Article 18. And Article 19, smoking. You know, I've had a lot of comments about smoking around the club. If you read the rule, smoking is not permitted anywhere except for on the golf course. So even the areas on the driving range up there, you're not allowed to have a lit cigarette, lit cigar. You're not supposed to smoke. Definitely not inside, we know that, but even around the clubhouse, like if you're walking around out towards the outside dining and all that areas, not allowed to smoke out there, okay? So just wanted to make that clear for everybody. Please look over your rules and regs when you're around the golf course. Make sure, the golf club for that matter, make sure you're doing the right thing. I actually see our good friend Ian McDivitt up there on the driving range. I do have a lesson with him coming up, and it looks like there's a few violations that he's committing over there. Why don't we go over and take a look? Okay, follow me. Mr. McDivitt.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Listen, Mr. McDivitt, it's funny, we were just talking to our members about the no smoking rule up here on the driving range. And
okay.
I see you have a cigar in your mouth there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to light it. Thanks for letting me know.
Okay, so yeah, if you could, well, if you don't mind, if you could just dispose of your cigar properly. We don't want to throw it on the ground, folks. We don't
Okay.
want to throw cigarettes or cigars on the ground. We need to dispose of them properly. And again, smoking is permitted on the golf course, not here. Also, you know, if you don't mind, and I know we've discussed this before, gentlemen must have their shirts tucked in when they're on the range. If you don't mind turning your hat around.
Okay.
You remembered, right? Yeah.
Sorry
So,
about that.
that's okay. We just want to make sure you're following the proper procedures here. Yeah, tuck yourself in. And while Mr. McDivitt gets ready, just a couple of things that I'll remind everybody of on the golf course. We'll head back over. So thanks, folks, for watching our video. I just wanted to reiterate, you know, look at your rules and regulations. Article 24 are the golf rules. That's where you'll find all the information and a lot of things we talked about, and even more things that we haven't covered. We just want to make sure that everybody follows the rules the way they were written here at Pelican Sound. Please pay attention to your wave. The wave comes out, the sports wave, every Thursday afternoon, and it has all the information you need on events that are coming up. March is going to be a busy month. We've got the member guest tournaments, we've got the Pelican Sound Cup for the men, club championships at the end of the month. I put in the wave some important dates to remember when you're making your Chelsea reservations, so you know, please read the wave. That way you don't have as many questions when you're coming in the shop. It's all right there. The pro shop, like I said, you may have seen Tracy, our merchandiser, won an award for one of the top 100 golf shops in the country. She does a great job. We want you to come in. A lot of great merchandise in there. Follow us on Facebook. We have the Facebook page for the golf shop. And going back to care of the course, that was the first thing, you know, we talked about. Everyone do their part. Fill in your divots. We've got these divot tools in the golf shop. You can come in and see us, and they're complimentary. You can take one. They say it's not that difficult on there, and it really isn't. It's not that difficult to keep your golf course in great shape. I mentioned earlier that we're going to throw a divot party. So if you mark your calendars for Thursday, March 23rd, which is about a month from now, we're going to do a divot party out on the golf course. It'll be late in the afternoon. We'll accept sign-ups, and we'll all spread out into teams, maybe have a cocktail or two while we're doing it, have some fun, fill in some divots.
And
out
meet Mr. McDivitt as well.
And Mr. McDivitt will even be there. So you get to meet Mr. McDivitt. And he looks pretty good here, dressed properly. So we appreciate Mr. McDivitt. And just be nice to everybody on the 23rd.
Okay, will do.
Okay. Be on your best behavior. So thanks again, folks. We look forward to the month of March. It's going to be a busy one. And everybody keep hitting them straight. Hit them in the fairways, on the greens.